Hello, my name is Nick Tillo and I'm a Compass Academy teacher at North High School in Sioux City, Iowa. I will be focusing on the impact reward systems have on student performance in a secondary classroom. Compass Academy is formerly the BD classroom. So out of the 1,400 students, I have anywhere from 6 to 10 of the most severe behaving students in the entire school. So the statement of problem, the behavior problems, obviously, and that I can easily relate to that in my classroom. Here are a few of the quotes that I found. Um, Student behavior and academic achievement in schools today are major concerns, and then behavior problems have and always will be a concern in the public school system setting. The Shannon Lawrence 2017. Also from her, the disruptions of behavior problems can cause the entire classroom to get off task, which I could see. I see both of those every day in the Compass Academy classroom. Why I chose this topic, I wanted to see what impact a reward system could have for the most severe behaving students, and I wanted something that was positive, so I thought the PBIS system would be great. I've seen the PBIS system work in the general ed setting as when I was a co-teacher, and it worked well. So I wanted to see that's what we have already implemented at North High, and I wanted to see if that would translate to the Compass Academy classroom, where there's a different type of system in place. I wanted to see if the PBIS could have an impact on my Compass Academy, the most severe behaving students in the entire school. The lit review and gap in research, positive rewards can lead to better behavior and higher academic achievement, Crow and Small. According to Paz and Bradshaw, the PBIS model leads to higher reading achievement, higher math achievement, and lower truancy. Last one, a study was conducted by Bradshaw, Paz, Debnam, and Johnson, and it showed that high schools that were able to implement the PBIS system saw a decrease anywhere from 20% to 60% in behavior referrals. So let me talk about that. Um, PBS, it could impact both behavior and academic achievement, according to these some of these important quotes. It also leads to higher reading achievement, it says, and higher math achievement and lower truancy. So, in my study, show that it could lead to higher reading achievement. The last one, it's decrease in behavior referrals, 20% to 60%. That's another reason why I wanted to do the PBS. I wanted to see if it impacted the behavior side as well. And according to these, it all did. The last one, according to SBOC 2017, operant conditioning is behavior theory where reinforcement is put into place in order to achieve the desired behavior. That's exactly what the PBIS system is. Um, you're conditioning the students. There's a reinforcement in order to achieve what you want to achieve, and specifically behaving and better academic achievement. The gap in the research is there wasn't many studies conducted solely for the Compass Academy classroom. It was mainly for the general education classroom. So that was the major gap. There wasn't anything specifically on Compass Academy in my small group setting. It was all large group in general ed setting. So the purpose of the study was to examine the effects of a behavioral reward system on academic achievement and improving behavior. Research question, do reward systems have a positive impact on behavior in academics in the high school Compass Academy classroom? That was my question. Methods and participants. So there was 7 males and 1 female. Um, they were 15 to 16 years old. They were chosen for my study because they were in my only English 2 classroom. Next, the 5 of the students had textbook free status. 3 were Hispanic students, they were also ELL students. 4 were Caucasian and 1 African American. All of these students in my study had an IEP for behavior. Also, 3 of the students had IEP goals for in the area of writing, 2 had reading goals, and 3 had both writing and reading goals to go along with behavior. So not only was I teaching the most behavior challenging students, I also had students who had learning disabilities too. And then I decided to go with the ABAB design. It was 12 weeks with 4 phases total. I decided this because I didn't have enough participants. It was only 8 participants, so that's the design I went with. There was an intervention phase, then a baseline, then intervention 2, then baseline 2. For the behavior, I could or um, use point sheets that we use in the Compass Academy classroom. I did those daily. And then for my assessments, I did the Easy CBM Fluency and Easy CBM Comprehension, and I'll show you those both coming up. And those were weekly. I would give those to the students, and I would collect the data, and I'll talk about those more here later on. And then the English 2 curriculum, what I was teaching was provided by the Sioux City Community School District. It mainly focuses on, for the third quarter, persuasion, grammar, craft, comprehension, researching, writing, developing, and revising, and editing. So that's what I was teaching along my study. The reliability and validity for my studies, the psychometrics for the EasyCBM, for the concurrent validity has a range of 0.55 to 0.61. The disaggregated reliability for the EasyCBM had a range of 0.50 to 0.79. Psychometrics for the fluency assessment, concurrent validity has a range of 0.65 to 0.69, and there is currently no reliability evidence for the EasyCBM fluency assessment. So again, here are the pictures of my assessments. This is the EasyCBM comprehension, EasyCBM fluency. So I obviously couldn't put it all on there, but this is an example. The EasyCBM consists of 3rd to 8th grade, depending on the student's reading level. They would read a passage, answer the questions. I would score them. First, we did the reading comprehension together. I would give the directions. They would do it on pencil and paper. They would turn it into me. I would collect it. I would grade it. I would score it. I would put it in. Next, I would call the students back one by one, and I would have them do the reading fluency assessment. I would score that, put that in, call the next student, while the other students were working on other assignments, homework. The results. These are the results for the comprehension. Between the baseline 1 and the intervention ones, finding established that the participants scored comparable between the phases. T-score of negative 1.686 with a P of 0.105. The baseline mean score, mean 12.04, standard deviation 3.724. It was baseline 1 was similar to intervention 1 mean score, which was 13.71, and standard deviation 3.69. For the second dependent sample t-test between the baseline 2 and intervention 2, findings confirm that participants scored higher between the baseline and the intervention phase on the comprehension, with a t-score of negative 4.913 with a p of less than 0.001. The baseline 2 mean score was 14.71 questions correctly answered, standard deviation 2.493, and the comprehension baseline 2 assessment was statistically lower than the intervention mean score of 17.88, standard deviation 1.777. And again, I'll go over these in a little bit. Then on the fluency side, findings established that participants scored comparable between the baseline phase and intervention phase on fluency. T-score of negative 4.733 with a P of less than 0.001. The baseline 1 mean score on the fluency assessment, mean was 99.21 words per minute. Standard deviation 24.486 was lower than the intervention 1 mean score of 108.08, standard deviation 22.769. Second t-test between baseline 2 and intervention 2, findings confirmed that participants scored comparable. The t-score negative 9.322 with a p of less than 0.001. The baseline 2 mean score on the fluency was 112.13 words per minute, standard deviation 18.01, statistically comparable to the intervention mean score of 120.33 with standard deviation of 7.40. So those were the results, and I'm going to break them down, make them easier to understand. So here are the tables that show. On the left we have the comprehension, and then right the fluency. So you can see the scores get better, they increase, right? And correct answers goes from 12, 13, 14, 17, and the standard deviation goes down, 3, 3, 2, 1. And then the same on the fluency, 99 words per minute to 108 to 112 to 120. And then again, the standard deviation goes down as those mean scores go up, 24, 22, 18, 7.40. And here are my graphs that show that as well. You can see them increasing between the baseline and the intervention. Baseline 2, intervention 2 goes up. Same here. Baseline 1, intervention 1. Baseline 2, intervention 2. So those pictures show it more easily compared to than just reading them off. So the overall findings of what I've found in my study, they established inconclusive evidence on the reading comprehension assessment and no supportive evidence on the hypothesis on the reading fluency assessment when using the PBIS reward system, a high school Compass Academy classroom. So it proposed that using the PBIS reward system as an intervention did not increase reading proficiency. So even though those scores did go up, they didn't go up significantly enough to support my hypothesis. So the hypothesis was not supported due to that. The trends that I saw, I always see on the graphs and the charts, you could see the scores going up and the standard deviation going down. And I think maybe because another trend that I saw was that the students were just getting better at taking the assessments. They got used to it, they knew what was coming. They would take them and they would perform better on them. They just did it over and over to where they got better. They improved and they just got used to that. Interpretations, implications, and limitations. PBIs can increase reading proficiency, but not significantly like those graphs and charts showed. The implications recommend PBIs for an entire class would not just work for a few students. You can't just have one student do it while the others don't participate. They would all have to participate in order for it to work. Everybody would have to buy in. In order for a teacher to implement it, it'd be simple. Be positive. You give out lots of positive reward comments, find rewards that motivate, and create a system to award cards or points. We do it at North High School. We'd give out any type of reward, such as candy, pop, chips, or extra credit, something that motivates the students. And we would hand out star cards for anything we saw as far as positive behavior or positive academics, and they would turn them in for rewards. Students, they're just learning behavior, and if they learn this behavior, it will increase academics. And then parents, much like the teachers, they can um, or do this at home. They would just find a reward and give positive reinforcement, find something, and you could do it at home. It's the same thing. A lot of people do it without even knowing it, and they could just incorporate this at home, just like we do in a classroom. Connecting to past research, students respond better to positive reinforcement rather than punishment. Simons and Sagai 2013. The study supported this. Even though there's no specific data on this, it supported that. I've seen punishment in the classroom and it doesn't work as well as a positive reinforcement. The mood was better. The classrooms, it was just everything was calmer. The behaviors were better and it led to higher academics. Paz and Bradshaw 2012. This study was first testing reward systems as a way to improve behavior and academic achievement. The study determined that it increased performance in the areas of reading and math. My study went along with this and it increased the area of reading. It's improved the scores only slightly, but it did improve the scores. Crow and Small say rewards that are relevant to behavior or performance can be motivating. The problem of poor academic outcome can be improved by rewards. I saw this. It changed how students, behaved and then how they performed on their academics. They wanted rewards. You can't give them a reward that they don't want, or you can't be negative with them. You have to be positive with them. They respond better to the positive reinforcement, and then you just have rewards that go along with them. They can be small as long as the students enjoy them. They will try. Limitations in future research ratio of male to female was 7-1. That I only had 8 students since I am in the Compass Academy classroom. This does not represent a true general education classroom. So that, maybe PBS works better for females or males. I'm not sure, but there were more males than compared to females than you would see in a general education setting. Absenteeism and tardiness. A lot of my Compass Academy students struggle with these. If they were tardy, they would have to take the assessment at the end of class or whenever they showed up, or if they were absent, they had to take it whenever they got there. So that could throw off the entire setting. And just taking it at a different time, they maybe wouldn't try as hard. It would just throw it all off. Behavior issues. We could have behavior issues that would affect the entire classroom. They would blow up. Then we'd have to get settled down. I would have to redo it again, and it would impact scores. All of these students have IEPs. That doesn't represent the general education classroom. Every student has an IEP for behavior, and some had, like I said earlier, had goals for reading and writing. That didn't represent the general education setting. Another one, the best practices for English. I'm a Compass Academy classroom teacher. I don't have much of a background in English. I do not have an English degree, so I tried and I thought I did well, but I'm not using the best practices like a normal certified English teacher would use. And then for the future research, I would just suggest a longer study and possibly having the students take these on computer instead of paper and pencil. I think they would be more engaged with the computer instead of paper and pencil. And if it was longer, you would be able to collect more data. The 12 weeks is not long enough. I think at least for 18 weeks, an entire semester or an entire school year. Then you would get more data points, and you could see more of the results. Here are my references that I use. I want to thank you guys for listening to my presentation. I really enjoyed it. Thank you again.